Not for me. I always want a little more right after. Well, anyway, it's time for the news to get you updated on what's happening around the world. Here's Rick James.
There is expected to be a crush of interborough traffic on Rick James, WABC News with Dan Ingram.
WABC's Dan Ingram program.
One of the more talented folks around these days is Peter Allen, who can do nice things with music and words and lyrics and stuff like that. It's a thing called Fly Away, which sounds like a very impractical pair of pants to me. I don't know. No, actually, Fly Away is a sign over the grill in a Japanese fast food restaurant.
You're an anchor, I'm a kite.
Fly Away was one of the early code names for Velcro when it was being developed. If I wanted to sum up how I feel about being a disc jockey, the title of this tune says it all. I love music. Love music, man. I really do. I like all kinds of music. I'm not a big fan of country music, but even that sounds good if you're in a little room with a little sauce and some friends, It's 19 past 5 on WABC. The honor group of the day is a secret. We'll announce that at the end of the show. And our word for the day is IMU. IMU. It's Montana University is what it is.
American Airlines. A message from the American Egg Board.
I'm about to play for you the most successful ripoff in the history of the music business. So maybe you've heard of a guy named Hank Ballard. Well, he did a thing called Finger Poppin' Time, which was a tune that was given to him by all the Dick Clark folks down in Philadelphia because they had ripped off another tune. They had copied it. They had got a young kid by the name of Chubby Checker to copy identically the way Hank Ballard sounded on a record called The Twist. And they put out their own record called The Twist with Chubby Checker. And if you have the original Hank Ballard record, except for the fact that there's an extra half chorus in the bridge that a saxophone plays, you can't tell the difference between the records. Hank, of course, got a raft of money from writing it because his name was on the tune. But this was the copy, and this is the record that you not only once, but twice made a 2 million seller. Yeah, poor guy had an affair with a canary and got sherpies. It's awful. It's 19 before 6 on WABC. There's a punchline of a longer joke, which is a lot easier to tell that way. 19 before 6 on the Ingram thing. That was a couple of chariots of fire for you on the Ingram outrage.
Lufthansa.
Lufthansa has daily flights to Frankfurt, Dusseldorf, Hamburg, and Munich. With, you ready for this? Improved sleeper seats for all first-class passengers. And you know what the improvement is. You call Lufthansa or your travel agent. I consented. Well, as we always do, when we play this record, we take you to the bathroom of the former movie star, Regis Toomey. Regis has just gotten up. He's walked into the bathroom. He's looking into the mirror. He's about to shave. And he says,
You are so beautiful.
I'd like to dedicate that tune to my wife, who kind of makes it all worthwhile. And I also like to say thank you. There's several thousand engineering and program people in the studio right now who've just brought in several thousand buckets of more of this bubbly stuff. And I would like to thank you all for dropping by. To you, cheers. It's good booze. I think we ought to try the next record to find out which voice is Johnny Mathis. Yeah, the lower voice is Dionne Warwick. I have these fantasies about her nostrils. That was Johnny Mathis in there, too. Dionne is one of the nicest people in the business, by the way. Your contribution to the YMC Summer Camp Scholarship Fund can give a needy boy or girl a week to remember for a lifetime. Call your local YMCA for more information. It's 9 minutes in front of 6 o'clock on WABC. I'm Dan Ingram. Our word for the day is IMU. IMU is, it's kind of a little kiddie's curse word,
Save now on outside decorating values for your home at...
Just handed a note. Says a guy from Great Neck called to say he remembers playing Easier Said Than Done by the Essex when he was 9 years old in June of 1963. He's getting ready to go to camp. So I'm going to see. That was 1963. That was 19 years ago. He is now 28. Boo. I don't like... I was 26 6 or 7. I was 26 when I came to this place, and that was 21 years ago. Anyway, we have the next tune. Oh, what do we have? Playing out a commercial. We have a pair of goodies from Mr. McLaughlin here. Right.
I am a smoker. I started smoking
And you, Henry?
If I had done so, I never would have made it through the 20 years here. We need now to hear our anthem, please. Everybody salute.
Listen to New York. There's excitement in the air. Listen to New York. You can hear it everywhere. This is a style that's all your own. That's the way it ought to be. We're New York Jive at 77. WABC, WABC.
The title of this next tune happens to be the last line in my new contract with Radio Enterprises, the satellite. It's right above the word Rick Sklar, which is where he signed on the bottom. It says, "You belong to me." Brings a tear to my nose. It's time now to check out the news, and we got Howard Cosell. Speaking of sports, we'll be right here in this very studio, and after that we'll have Shadow Traffic with Joe Nolan and radar weather and all that. And right now with the news, here's Rick James.
Mayor Koch now has an official car more befitting his physique. Good evening. It's 67 degrees, mostly sunny in New York. This is the 6 p.m. edition on WABC, New York's radio station. Ford Motor Company has something it calls an executive car lease program, which allows mayors and other government officials to rent a limo at fairly reasonable rates. So Ed Koch today took delivery of a luxury Lincoln Town Car, for which the city will pay only $2,900 a year, which is quite a deal if you've priced regular-sized cars recently, let alone a limousine. For years, Koch has complained of bed sores on his knees from his 1979 Chrysler Newport that he's been using. His owner is 6 foot 2 inches tall. He says a fellow that size is too big to spend all of his time riding around in the back seat of a standard-sized car, despite the Four Seasons song of the same name. So, Koch took a test ride in his new limo and announced an instant cure for the bed sores on his knees. He also has a power window to separate the front from the back of the car, AM/FM stereo. What? Air conditioning, of course, and radio telephones in both the front and back seats. But they ask his honor, might this car not seem a bit pretentious in this year when he's running for governor? To me, says Ed Koch, looking at his limousine, it's a pickup truck. It's all in the eyes of the beholder, he said. Koch already has a suit from Sears, so if he can just find someone to ride around with him wearing a gingham dress, the Playboy interview should be fully behind him. On to matters of more substance. There's a hot dog probe beginning in New York City. I think perhaps a live audience is what a newscast has always needed. WABC's Gus Engelman says it's a matter of where you buy your dog as to what you pay.
Your average hot dog on the street sells for 65 or 70.
Again, it's currently 67 degrees in New York, and I think we have 7 seconds left. Not enough time. This is the one newscast I really don't want to end normally, but now I'm itching.
Well, read it again.
No? All I can say is...
Nobody was listening in here.
Despite the fact that I've been overworked and underpaid...
We know that.
I have managed to cheat the company because I've had a lot of fun these few minutes in front of and in back of, and, well...
I think that what I do really is the mortar between the bricks of the newscast.
I think I've been called a brick again.
But that's with a B.
Huh? Oh, that's right. Yeah, we were confused the other day, too, on tricks.
Right, yes, right.
Anyhow, people on the radio come and go. Friendships last longer. And so I'm not going to say goodbye. What the hell? I'm Rick James, WABC News with Dan Ingram.
WABC Dan Ingram program.
One of the most talented people I've worked with, Rick James. Let's hear it for him. Well, it's T-minus 44 minutes and counting, and the next record I have been asked to play by I don't know how many people. I've gotten I haven't really counted, about 1,000 pieces of mail in the last couple of weeks. All of it very nice. And this particular record came up an awful lot of times. It does not represent my sentiments, because this is not the day the music died. This is the day we go on to a new and more interesting thing called Super Radio, which will be in your town and our town and a whole lot of other towns, coast to coast. And I understand from Rick Sklar, who is standing here in the studio, and Rick will be on with Ron and me Monday morning. I insist on it, Rick. I don't care what you have to. You got to be there. Because after all, Rick is the guy that made this thing work for all these years. I understand that we're going to be on in Guam. Guam. And one of your people said they're trying to pitch a satellite in Guam.
It goes as far as Hawaii.
Well, it goes well, but they think they can get into Guam, and it just occurred to me that if I do a show, let's say tentatively scheduled from 4 to 8 in New York, that in Guam I will be on the air from 3 to 7 a.m. the day before because of the international dateline. So this next record does not represent how I feel at all, but so many people asked for it, and since all these years I have been a reflection of your taste, as well as I think some of mine, we will play American Pie.
Long, long time ago, I can still remember how that music used to make me smile. Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this'll be the day that I die.
That's it, dude. That's a little American Pie for you. It's 26 minutes past 6 o'clock. We got a little catching up to do here.
Hi, it's Harris, Wanda.
Thank you. Right. For information, call 800 more champagne, 800-257-8656, and don't miss Sammy Davis Jr.'s Memorial Day weekend at Harris. I don't think it's a memorial for him or anything like that. It's a Memorial Day weekend. He will be at Harris, so go down there and see him dance.
Hurry of Home's office today.
All right, thank you very kindly. It's time now to check out what's happening amongst the world. We'll have Gordon Williams' business report. Here with the news, Palmer Payne.
Good afternoon. It's 67 degrees, mostly sunny in New York. Right now in New York, 67 degrees. I'm Palmer Payne, WABC News. On the last 25 minutes of the Dan Ingram Show.
Dan Ingram, WABC.
At this location. I have all, you know, me and I have every time I introduce Neil Sedaka, I call him a grand old man in showbiz and all that sort of stuff. I thought I might finally relent, play a Neil Sedaka record.
Down, 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 comma, down, down.
The hell I will.